So you know a little bit about Zoom up to this point. Check out other videos about settings and how to get into Zoom and the basic difference between Zoom and Blackboard or Zoom at zooms.us. We're going to now jump through the tools. So one of the first things there is just a quick tool overview. What do you have available within Zoom? Well, there's a security button as a host that will allow you to lock the meeting from anybody being able to come back in. You'll be able to give the ability to share the screen to other users. By default, we have it deselected, meaning that if somebody were to try to share their screen, they'd get a message saying, hey, I cannot join the session or I cannot share my screen. You can also give a few other details here. The security tab is a new feature within Zoom so that you can really control certain elements of the meeting. You have a participants panel. That's where you're going to be able to see the participants come in. You'll have these buttons at the bottom that will indicate specific things non-verbally to the user. So if I were to click this yes, a little icon comes up there. That's just indicating I'm saying yes. Somebody asked me something and maybe I didn't have my mic on. I click yes and that will come up there. Now remote participants, they'll be able to raise their hand and talk to you there. Now, if a remote participant were to join in this participants panel, what's going to happen is they're going to get put into a waiting room. In this particular meeting setup, I've created a waiting room. So I have a computer right next to me that I just click waiting room so you can see what this is going to look like. So a user is now waiting to be entering into this meeting. On the screen that I have here, that just says, hey, please wait, the meeting host will let you in soon. So they don't hear anything, they don't see anything, they're just kind of sitting on their computer waiting for me to let them in. So that is a nice feature about this participants window, is that you have management of people that can come into the room or not. Now, if you do not have waiting room enabled, you can't turn it on after the fact. You have to actually go in and do that before you set up your meeting. But what can be handy about this is that you really see who you want to let in iteratively. So I can go up to this user and I could admit them, or if there was a couple other users, there would be a button that says admit all. Once you allow people into the course or into the session, they'll just be a participant. So I have nobody else that's waiting. It's taking a second. They're connecting into the session and they'll drop into my participants panel now. So there we have it. We have a participant that has joined in our session. I'm not going to keep it on gallery view. I'm just going to be on the participants that are talking and have a camera. So in this instance though, you will also be able to see other users that might do something. So I'm going to go ahead and show you what it looks like when a participant raises their hand. There's a hand raised by a participant. There is a lot of nonverbal reactions that can happen. So I said, hey, user one, are you hearing what I'm saying? And they would be able to click the yes, and oh, great, they know what I'm talking about. Or maybe as you're talking, that user might put something like, go faster because I'm talking too slow. Okay, yes, I'm going a little slow, so let's go on because we're running out of time for the session. So then you can kind of clear that out. So the participants panel, very handy panel to use within Zoom. I'm going to go ahead and hide that panel for a second. Next up, you got your polls. Your polls are going to help you with asking questions to your remote participants. I'm not going to go through polls right here, but this is where you click on it and you'd be able to do an ad hoc poll if you didn't create one prior to the session, or you're able to hit edit and then you go set up your poll and then you can do it ad hoc right in the session itself. You have your chat button. When you click on your chat, it's just as you'd expect. You'd be able to send messages to anyone in the group. So, hello. And then on the participants panel, they could say, hi back. So you can go back and forth. There's the ability to do private chats with the people that are in the room. And if there's other people in the waiting room, you can send a chat as well. Not only can you do that, but you can share files. You can do something from your computer. Click upload and you'll just drop a file right onto your chat. So let's go find a file here that we might want to share. Yeah, this one's fine. And then the participants will be able to download that file. And additionally, in that bottom left right-hand corner, you're going to notice that there's additional tools that you can click on that little ellipse that would affect everyone in that area. I did fail to mention on the prior participants panel as well, there is that little ellipse at the bottom right where you have some additional options to mute participants and allow people to even unmute themselves when they've been muted. And by the way, you can unmute and it will not unmute the person. It came with a request on the participant to say, hey, I want to unmute myself so they can be unmuted. Now notice when you have somebody unmuted, sometimes you get this weird feedback, or you're getting your speaker getting picked up by your microphone. And if that's happening, you can mute people if you see that there's something interesting like that going on. So once that's been set up, we've kind of talked about participants, polls, a little bit about chat. Those are kind of the basic areas that manage your Zoom. So check out our other sessions about specifics on the screen sharing. That's where you can share your screen. Recording, that's going to be a big one, where you record to. Also your breakout sessions, and there's a little bit about reactions. Check out those videos soon. Thank you.